Welcome, ladies and gents. TaToH says, "It's weird to see you on red," and Viper says, "Your fault." So as it's funny, I'm changing the colors here, and this is because TaToH chose gray. So they've got to go team colors. This is actually like maybe mind games here from TaToH. You know, picking gray on a map that is covered in snow, it's kind of hard to see. So Viper might have actually had to go team colors here, which means that yourself is blue and the enemy's red. So TaToH trying to weaken Viper here in this really fun series here in Group D, guys, by forcing him to not play as yellow. At least he is on yellow, but not necessarily on his screen. Look at this start from Viper, all pulled out of his mind over here, placing houses next to the TC. You might think he's a noob because of this, but you want that farm space, man, and you don't want that farm space to be around your TC necessarily with pulls. So unique start with Viper. Let's review, though, the situation in the group. So Viper comes in here at 7-2. Remember, in the first season, he won the group, and then he moved on eventually to lose in the semifinal series to Veleza. But Viper did win his group. I think he was 12-3 after 15 games. TaToH, I actually forget his results. I think he was more middle of the table on the first season of Titans League. But TaToH currently is 6-3. So it's 7-2 versus 6-3. So these two are the top of Group D as we head into Week 4. And it's a really important series to determine, possibly anyways, who is number 1 and who is number 2 in the group. With the most important point of that being that your whoever is first in the group gets a bye in the playoffs to go directly to a quarterfinal. And then whoever is second and third, they have to play in a round of 12 match. So, you know, there's going to be players out there you want to avoid, right? You know, let's just say like TaToH wins this series and Viper goes into second place. And let's say like Vinchester doesn't really pick it up so much in his group and he ends up being in third. Viper could be playing Vinchester in a round of 12. Like, you know, just things to think about. Anyways, apparently TaToH was 9-6 in the first season. Okay, thanks for checking on that. And TaToH is going to have some work to do with these golds, right? If he gets some walls across, he's going to be fine. In fact, his stone positions are going to be awesome. Viper's base seems a little bit more straightforward, though I will say both players have some questionable gold spots. Like that's the whole conversation here for this Ghost Lake generation is just how are you going to get access to gold? For Viper, if he loses access to this hill, goodbye. Main gold, obviously, forward for both players. That is consistent in this generation. The thing that's always tricky with Ghost Lake is the wood lines. And sometimes those wood lines give you easy potential to wall. And your resources are behind those walls. And other times, not so much. But yeah, TaToH chose Chinese before on this map. A lot of people have picked Chinese on this map. And the Chinese have the best win rate of all civilizations so far in the second season of Titans League. They also have one of the highest pick rates, too. So it's interesting. People are not really banning them as much as some other civilizations, but according to the data, China number 1. And polls haven't been played near as much as compared to the first season. We did add additional global bans, and people have been banning Poles, Burgundians a bit more frequently. But I also think the map pool has a lot to do with it. And that slight nerf that Poles had received of their gold income coming in a little bit slower from their stone mining, that whole bonus, I think was just enough to make them a little bit more awkward to play. So TaToH on the way up, 23 population. You have to assume this is probably going to be scouts. Could actually be archers, honestly. Just something we'll have to see if he wants to adapt into it. And then Viper's going to go walls. And honestly, right now, it feels like if Viper could, he would just go walls into eco. He doesn't even have a barracks yet. And if he were to be adding one, he should be adding it relatively shortly here. And so he's hoping to wall on this side. I mean, this is the confidence that Viper can have. He's pretty good at quick walling, right? So maybe he just wants to play into eco. But no, as I say that, he's going to go for the barracks. And he was unlucky not to find these sheep. He does have some sheep still at home. Yeah, a lot of the neutral sheep were found. Sorry, I didn't really focus on that as much in this start. TaToH also missing some sheep, actually, which is kind of funny. Oh, man. Yeah, both players with similar situations there. But Viper will find his sheep. And I had said when I saw the polls, I was like, man, if Viper could just get some walls down and get those farms rolling, like, that's the ideal start with the polls, right? Now, TaToH sees this villager. He's waiting for feudal age, but Viper saw TaToH's scout. And TaToH wanted to kill that villager to stop the walling, but now that Viper's scout is there with the villager, and the scouts have the same strength, you do not want to take this fight if you're TaToH. And Viper, he's got his sheep. He'll have his walls. He actually opens with a range. He's not mining gold. And TaToH opening with a stable, choosing not to build up this direction. And choosing to instead just kind of skip this gold for now, which a lot of players have done on this map before. And TaToH's going to look. TaToH's going to see the range now. And he also sees all 3 golds. So this might be a little confusing for him. He might be assuming Viper's taking gold here. But Viper's actually not taking gold right now. I'm really excited to see, and it's just like, I'm not being sarcastic when I say I'm excited. It might not be something that really is exciting for you guys. It's not like, whoa, freaking out, you know, as we get Stone Gate here from TaToH. He deleted his, was that not a Palisade Gate? Interesting decision. Anyways, I'm really excited to see the food brought in a couple minutes. So it seems like just one of those games that's going to build up towards Castle Age. But let's just look now. I'm just out of curiosity, right? So at the moment, TaToH's got more of every resource. But Poles have a habit of catching up, right? Obviously, Viper's got multiple full works now. He's still finishing his sheep. Now he's going to start to add those farms. We'll see exactly how things look for him. He is now taking gold. So TaToH, you know, going for the scout play, was hoping to break in. Viper, Mr. Defense over there, playing Poles to their strengths. Wow, there's actually a hole over here. Good from TaToH to check this. Viper's not being aggressive at all, though, and TaToH's just going to drop a market there. Seems like as good a spot as any for a market. Viper just kept the archer in the range. It's a bait, right? Like, TaToH, it might even be making more army because he thinks that Viper's going to be sending those archers out across the map. Well, he thinks it's archers. It's obviously going to be just archer, at least for the time being. Viper's scout out here with the spearman. They're just dancing around right now. Scout would really like to survive. Spearman's his best friend. And TaToH, wow, this is actually horrible for TaToH. TaToH really wants to kill that scout, and that was like some crazy value there from the spearman. All 3 of these scouts are very weak. Now, if it was just like 3 archers coming out across the map, they could actually kill all those scouts. But it seems really important for TaToH there to kill Viper's scout so Viper can't see what's happening. So Viper left a little bit in the dark. So let's check the food eco now. There's that one archer, by the way, just going to kill the spearman. Now Viper's getting closer. Still not that crazy, though, I have to say. And Viper hasn't been making use of mining stone. It feels like it's not something that he's really planned on. The other thing to mention about Viper's situation, obviously, is that his food spikes get even crazier once he gets more eco upgrades. And then also, he hasn't spent food at all on his army. Actually, that's not exactly true. He only spent food on the spearmen. But he didn't make scouts, so TaToH spent a little bit more food. Viper's going to be clicking up. And like, Viper's got a really good map for the back stone, but not good with the back wood. Could maybe drop a second TC here, but like map control is going to be the key here. And TaToH maybe even showed his hand a little early. Him going for the stone gate, guys, tells you that at the very least, he is not going to go 3 TC boom right away. So I could definitely see with TaToH putting himself in this position, I could see himself going 2 stables. And anytime you want to be really aggressive against somebody on a normal map, you sometimes want to go forward and build monasteries and siege workshops. But I don't know if you can easily justify that. Like, I guess you could do it here, and it's still close enough to the gold, or here. But because you cannot build on the ice, it certainly makes that whole situation a little bit more awkward. We also could be wrong, right? Like, TaToH's now going to maybe recoup the stone that he invested into the walls. And there he just lost a scout. Viper with 1 kill, 1 death. And Viper's definitely going to at least start off with a boom here, it seems. Did Viper see the gate? Yeah. He saw the gate. So if I saw the stone gate, I would be thinking my opponent's going to go like 2 stables and aggressive. He's not going to drop 3 TCs instantly. And it seems like TaToH's just going to walk back and forth and get the stone. But, I mean, I don't mind the stone walling and the stone gate, but showing that to Viper and then not having the stone when you make it to the next stage, when you can drop the TCs, if that's your plan, just maybe not quite as ideal. I mean, the whole big thing on this map is eco and late game. So yeah, TaToH just bought the stone. He's like, okay. Which makes the villagers walking back and forth a little bit more interesting now. TC for TaToH, and he'll probably drop another TC as well. Notably, not on his gold. Viper is going to drop it on his gold. He also drops a monastery on the wood line, which bothers me for efficiency reasons, but can't disagree with Viper, man. Wood upgrade, farm upgrade for the snake, adding more farms as well. Let's see if he finishes these farms before the Castle Age farm upgrade, or if it's time to perfection. Time to perfection, so now he gets the little spike once those farms complete. Nice. It's a bigger spike, obviously, because of getting the farm upgrades. And we're just going to see monks, I think. It's almost like an arena game now. Like, I think monks are going to head out to try and get relics. And Viper not having a scout obviously makes that whole situation more difficult. But yeah, it feels very arena-esque right now. As TaToH goes for his next TC. That's his 4th TC, actually. The Spearmen don't have a lot of line of sight, so Viper can't actually see that that's 4 TCs. That's crazy. I would say this TC position is less than ideal. But Viper also going for 4 TCs as well. Dang. Both players probably thinking, I'm on 4 TCs, he's on 3 right now. That would be my guess. And we'll check resources collected again. Man, you just can't catch up to those Chinese, man. It's that team bonus they have with their farms that just still makes them be able to compete here with the Poles. And here we go. All right. Funny that Viper leaves a space for his TC on the stone where he wouldn't farm with the Poles. Yeah, like Viper's base layout looks very nice here, I have to say. Like, the houses should always be around your starting TC in an ideal world, or against your walls. You never want it in this area. All right, Viper. He shows that he has a monk there. TaToH deletes both the spearmen. Viper just trying to protect his monks. Now, in an arena game, we always say the spearman play doesn't normally work out because the enemy has monks to convert your spearmen. But Viper's added a lot of spearmen, to be fair. And, okay, spearman gets converted. Scout gets a hit, and monk goes down. And still no real threat to kill the monks if you're Viper. That's the concern. You're not going to be able to group up spearmen to kill... Well, okay. All right. Well, I'm wrong. I thought there'd be more monks coming. The spearmen are actually going to kill the monk. I was incorrect, guys. Viper using spearmen to kill monks. What do I know? The TaToH not using... Where are his other monks right now? Sorry, I'm trying to find them. Normally you have like the next couple monks following up because Viper doesn't have scouts, and you should know that here. So TaToH making me look like a fool, but TaToH's got 1 relic. That's what he was focused on. He's going to have relic number 2 coming in. He doesn't actually see relic number 3, which is a bit disappointing. And then he showed up here just waiting for Viper's next monk to pop out. Let's see Viper's vision. They're obviously competing for this one now. And TaToH's going to win the race to that area. But the spearmen, well, the spearmen are going to be there. But no, that monk's going to go down. That monk's going to go down. Great micro here from TaToH. Should be pretty easy snipes. Doesn't lose a single scouts. And he's going to get another monk as well. It's just so much more difficult when you're playing this from Viper's position. But Viper, using the spearmen again. Now, this is more along the lines of what I was talking about. I like how he's trying to block here. He doesn't want this relic to get back. So he loses the spearman now. And now TaToH's healing that monk with the other monk. And is he trying to block with the new spearman? This is funny. And now he's got another monk, so he's going to convert the spears. And spears are just so underwhelming in these situations. You see what I mean? You have 1 more monk in the initial situation, and the same thing would have happened with the healing. So, less than ideal for Viper, I would say. That TaToH could be on his way to getting 4 relics. However, Viper's food eco is looking better and better here. And he is dropping a castle to protect that gold, and that's something that TaToH hasn't really been able to do yet. So TaToH's got his 3 relics. Does not have vision on this right side. Viper, I assume, doesn't either. So Viper's looking. Viper might actually be able to snag that one. How often does the Viper do things intentionally to confuse T90? Very, very few times has he actually done it intentionally to confuse me. But there have been instances where I know, even though he won't admit it, that he's doing crap because he knows I'm watching. There have been instances in the past. I'm like, there's no way he's doing that because he thinks it's the right move, you know? Like, do you remember the whole thing where I was talking about straggler trees in League of Legends? And I remember watching Viper play, and like people were asking about straggler trees. And I was casting him play a ranked game. It was just like an hour or two later. And all of a sudden, he's like chopping all the straggler trees. And it's being super inefficient, and then he wins the game. I was like, he knows. Viper imping, man. That's just crazy to me. With 32 on food, TaToH's got 39. Now, TaToH's going to have more villagers, just slightly more. And both players have that castle up in front of the golds. And TaToH dropping the barracks here. Did he see something at all? Well, he saw the castle, and he knows his opponent is pulled, so he is assuming his opponent's going to go for the Slacha privilege upgrade. And that makes your knights cost 60% less gold. And combine that with how much food income you get with this civilization, it's insane what you're able to do. Viper has surpassed TaToH now. Like, notice when he started to mine some stone, so you're bringing in 2 resources with 1, so he's been able to surpass TaToH in that area. And the crazy thing, again, is that he doesn't spend as much gold, too. As he's actually going to come over here with this castle to secure that stone. Neither of them see this relic, by the way. So that relic's still just there. TaToH's got a couple spearmen there on Viper's gold. That should be a non-issue. And TaToH wants to go Chukonu and Halb. So the thing here is, polls have a very specific time window. And there's the privilege. I think that was the privilege upgrade. Yeah, it must have been. So they have a very specific time window. So, and that time window is late castle, early imp. They can flood like no one else in that time frame. But, you know, if the opponent's got more relics and good late game control and good defense, they get access to more blacksmith technologies. And the Chinese Chukonu Halberdier is just simply too tough for the Poles to stop, I feel, in a straight-up engagement. Now, Viper can use mobility. But again, Viper, he's just teching into the cavalry here. Will he be able to really pressure TaToH? And I think what Viper might want to aim to do, actually, is you use your castles to produce the trebs, and then you use your stables to produce the cav, and then you just hope to get like 4 or 5 trebs with a crap ton of cav at the right time here. Because TaToH's got to produce out of his castles. He's got to produce units, that is. And he's got to produce out of the barracks. And he's got to get blacksmith technologies for all those units. TaToH's done a really good job, though, getting some of these upgrades and getting the position as well. And Viper opening light cav is a little bit of a surprise to me. Viper's archer there is going to end up going down. And TaToH will probably see Viper's got a castle here. TaToH doesn't know there's a gold there, and Viper does. So that's what Viper's looking to secure. And Viper will also see this relic and this gold. So Viper's really taking his late game mode. As archer ranges there got denied. I do have to say, though, like, this is not the opening I would have expected from the Viper. I thought he would have had a great deal more of military. The light cav choice when your cavalier is so cheap, it's a very conservative option. And I'd love to be proven wrong. I'm just not sure how conservative you can realistically be with the polls. But I guess we'll have to see. I feel like you've got to spend all your gold, mass 50, cavalier with the trebs, and really push this home. Viper, though, feeling the need for skirmishers, and you can understand why based on what he's seeing right now. All right. Poor Monk's going to have to die out alone in the cold ice. Sad times for him. But yeah, Viper still working on his way on upgrades. So is TaToH. TaToH no bracer yet. Does have chemistry, though. Does have Halb now. And TaToH knows Viper's got a castle there. Viper getting that relic is such a nice thing. I like this from TaToH, though. Wait, these spearmen were all converted. I was like, why didn't they change to Halb? Oh, it makes sense now. That's funny. So the spearmen that came from Viper's base are now fighting him back. Viper's probably very confused by that. TaToH probably still doesn't know there was a relic there. He just assumed Viper had it the whole time. He's going to head over there with villagers and halbs to that gold. And it seems like he's going to start off with pushing Viper's castle on the left. Now, what this allows Viper is time. And if Viper sees that, he could actually just give this up and then maybe push the other side. Like, I could see Viper heading right to the middle, for example, if that happens. You can see he's just waiting for the proper time. Poles do have almost full upgrades on the Elite Scrims. They don't get the final armor. I think Elite Chukunu, with all that attack, assuming TaToH gets a few more upgrades, I think it's just still really tough to stop. Spearman really did a lot here, I have to say. And those halbs getting a good clear up there. TaToH might choose to drop a castle in this gold. We'll see. Yep, and there he is. That might not complete here for TaToH. Viper sees the trebuchets on the left side. Here he is. No Winged Hussar upgrade for Viper. No Blast Furnace upgrade for Viper. Viper going in to take this fight. I don't think there's ever a world he could take the trebs, so he probably didn't see the army in the first place. Here we have some quick walling here from TaToH. Very nice work. Again, he's one game behind Viper in the standings right now. If he can get a 2-1 victory, it'd be epic. Or a 3-0 victory in this series, it'd be epic. We got two very, big heavyweights, two favorites to possibly win the whole freaking thing here. Titans League Season 2, playing against each other here in their group. I don't know. Viper is going to try Onager now. That's an interesting choice. Onager at most elos that you guys are watching from. A very effective tool in these types of situations. But watch what Chukunu can do against these Onagers when they come out. Could be proven wrong, obviously. This castle was denied, by the way. So Viper will be able to take that gold. Still mining this gold. This is huge. This is where I'm thinking... You got to max out on army here if you're Viper. And so he's going for the Siege Skirm combination. TaToH still doesn't see that there's gold there. He should, if he knew about that, should be sending some army there. Viper getting chemistry now. Obviously, Viper can take this gold as well. Interesting how Viper's just got some army parked there. It's almost like he's waiting for something to arrive. And there's rocketry. I think if you get, 1 or 2 onagers, it gets tricky. You get 5 or 6 onagers, it's much different. 5 or 6 onagers, TaToH might be able to out-micro 3 or 4 of them. But if 1 or 2 hit, it can make a big difference. I think TaToH's going to see this now. He seems to be heading to the corner to looking for the relic. And he will also have vision that Viper's over there. And Viper has kind of got away with one here, but that's just due to the better scouting from him. That's a lot of free gold he's been able to take. I mean, there's only about 800 gold left there, so Viper's took 2/3 of it. Viper needs to get, and tell me if he already got it, viewers, but he really needs to get the trample damage upgrade for those Hussars. The Winged Hussars are an insane unit. And okay, now some light cab obviously are going to go over there to kill those villagers. Crazy resources for both players. Love the heavy camo choice, though, from TaToH. I think that's going to help out against all the cav. Both players with stone for a castle, though Stoneman is limited now. And Viper just house walls here to keep these villagers alive for a little bit longer. And the Trebs and the Chukunu are headed to the right. As Viper's bringing his Trebs, Onagers, and Skirmishers to the left. This could be very good for the Viper right now. I think Viper, at the end of the day, his gold count's still going to be fine. What he wants is he wants to start that kill on TaToH. And him being able to start this now is huge. And again, TaToH, he's not gonna push this with the Trebs. He's gonna drop the castle here and move through the middle. He's obviously giving up so much on the sides. Now, the good news for TaToH is the halbs aren't actually super beneficial for him now. He actually wants camels with all that gold. What an interesting position for TaToH to find himself in. I mean, both players are going to be massively surprised here. Viper probably has no chance to be able to take out this death ball right now. But TaToH has no way to stop this at the moment. Viper trying. I mean, it's worth it for him to try and take out the Trebs. He takes out one. He's repairing now with what little stone he has left. He will now see that TaToH's building this castle here, which could lead to all those villagers being lost. And now Viper still feels the need to possibly push here. But look at TaToH. He's now here with light cav. He's now here with camels and halbs. Viper with the attack round! That attack round was epic. Excellent value there from the Onagers. If he didn't have that, this fight would have gone a whole lot worse for him because he will start to lose this fight. And a great game here, guys. Like, we chose Ghost Lake for the map pool because we knew it could bring some crazy post-imp action, but you got to work to get the walls down and everything else. And this game is crazy. It's just flipped on its head. We've got so much going on right now. Viper's going to sneak to the corner. He's still got more stone there. He still has vision on that gold. He still is going to take all that gold. But we shift to the middle, and which army's better here? We've got Elite Chukunu with, I think, full upgrades. And then we've got the stable units here from TaToH as well. I still feel like the army composition for TaToH is superior. I think it is. The problem for him has been his units need to be... his units are all gold, right? And his units needed to protect those trebuchets. Viper's got really good castle positions defensively. And it's like, this game's going to go on forever if Viper can keep those castles up. And if it goes on forever, then you probably prefer the poles with the winged hussars later on. So nice defense there from the Viper. But TaToH's going to love the fact that he's got 4k gold in the bank. He's got 3 relics to 2, and he's actually getting access to this gold. And TaToH's castle positions aren't bad either, by the way. It's more so just that this left side being exposed could be a massive issue for him later on. Some players, guys, would even buy a castle for that position just so you won't be raided later on. You know, a lot of people don't associate this unit with the poles, but they do get Arbalest with some great upgrades, so Viper's making use of that. And Viper sends the winged hussars over. TaToH reacts to that. And Viper has these trebs. They were on the left. Remember, that Onager shot there from Viper kind of kept some of those alive. It's very likely he would have lost all those if not for that attack round. If not all, at least more of them. And he's shifting these bad boys over to the right now. So he's just, again, waiting for his moment. Now, Onager from TaToH, I mean, maybe with that much gold, it makes sense. He seems to be giving a lot of respect here to these Arbalest. And Viper, it's easier for him to produce the Arbs because he just has to produce out of ranges. And Viper, his production just seems so much greater right now. He's always got the meat shield. His positioning's awesome. TaToH has to react here. The stats on your screen saying TaToH's got more army, but we're just not seeing it right now. And winged hussar, superior to the light cav line as well. Viper trying more raids, not going to accomplish too much. He's got to be very careful with his trebs there, actually. And TaToH does now have Onager. Okay, there's the legacy upgrade I've been waiting for. So I played a game where I was going... It was poles v poles. It was in a team game. You guys might have even seen the video. But anyways, I was playing a team game with Dave, and I was just astounded at how insane the winged hussars are against units that should counter them. Like, their trample damage is insane. And TaToH! TaToH, you could have taken out 2 trebs! Oh, man. TaToH's starting to fall apart. Viper's chipping away at the flanks, guys. How are you going to be able to raid Viper when he's got those defensive castle positions? He's even going to place another one now. But yeah, they've trample damage, and I find it to be an insane late game option for the poles. TaToH had 5k gold at one point, and he was confident he tried to push the middle area. Wasn't able to really get the damage done that he wanted here, but now he's got a target area, and that's going to be that right side. And now I'm waiting. This is definitely late game raid mode. I'm waiting to see Viper with hussars on the left. Like, 5 to 10 hussars here, TaToH starts to have big problems. I'm very surprised that he... I mean, I suppose I'm not surprised. He doesn't want to lose access to this gold in this position. But this is the perfect window for some raids. And TaToH's just wide open, and then TaToH will have to react, which makes it more awkward for TaToH elsewhere. We've got 70 army versus 90 army here. Game 1 in the play all 3. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Great post-imp action. I think a lot of people out there really prefer these types of games. The games that don't end in feudal or castle, but the games that can turn into a massive comparison between these two civilizations. Viper's castle is going to go down. Viper's castle will absolutely go down, and he might need to be careful here. The Arbalest have gotten a lot of value here. Onager's here from TaToH, though. The Viper even has his own Onagers, too. We've yet to really see a big old splat ever since Viper had that one shot earlier. And, well, there's a nice shot there from Viper. And nice split there from Viper. Does get hit, but ultimately kills the onagers and still holds his position here, guys. Both players are tossing everything they've got here. We've got the Trebs behind all this, going Treb v Treb, Treb on Arb. This is crazy. Light Cav from TaToH, pick off an onager. Very well played from him. The Chukunu good enough here. TaToH's got the Q. Just feels like, you know, let's say the Chukunu, yes, the Chukunu are better against the Cav for the enemy. However, ooh, big hit. However, it feels like the cavalry for the enemy is stronger than the cavalry he has. So it feels like it's kind of even. And the KD says this game is as close as it could get, and the onagers could make all the difference. Saw the shot there. TaToH's Trebs also doming that one onager. This game is ridiculous, but look at the gold count. Viper's still able to mine some gold. Viper's still floating so much more gold. And Viper pushing back here, and this winged Hussars with 70 on food here for Viper. They seem like they're going to be the difference maker here. He's going to get a huge surround here on the Chukunu. And if Viper wasn't comfortable enough to raid when I had mentioned it 5 minutes ago, you've just got to raid now. Like, you've taken control of this area. You can take this gold if you want it. TaToH has to send everything here to react, right? That is going to be TaToH's main focus. I'm shocked we're still not seeing a few more units over on this side for Viper. He doesn't have to do it yet, right? He doesn't have to do it at all, actually. He can continue to do this for as long as he wants. The winged Hussars are pretty freaking strong. But it just feels like that's what's going to break TaToH, though. As I say that, TaToH's population is at 160. And it's not looking any better for him over on this side as well. The Chinese have the best win rate of all the civilizations in this event so far. They're picked on so many different maps. You know why they're strong. But in the late game, man, you know, the fact that they only get light cav, that it becomes kind of an issue, I guess, against the Poles, who have so many unique bonuses to be able to spam the light cav, and I guess Hussars is what I should clarify on, but Viper slow and steady here. TaToH trying to change it, but again, watch when these light cav go in. Watch how easy it is for Viper to defend. I mean, this is actually the only area he's exposed. But Viper could send his own Hussars to clear that, and he's got the castles that'll help. The castle fire always adds up in those situations, as you can see. Okay, well, there's no castles there, so TaToH's going to get through. Nice raids here from TaToH. Also, TaToH has a massive ball of Chukunu here. Holy crap, man. The Trebuchet goes down, so TaToH will still hold. 80 army for TaToH. Viper has to abandon all of his farms. Maybe some walling here. I'm surprised Viper didn't buy another castle to put in that woodline. There's a lot of different options for him. Okay, TaToH. Still is 64 on food. Still has those 3 relics. Does not have gold access. That's the sad thing. Viper's got so much gold income. And remember, he brought in so much more gold than TaToH had a possibility of doing in the first place at this base. Because when mining stone, you receive gold too. Oh my god, TaToH, please, 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 please. I mean, that raid has been dealt with, and there's just all these yellow dots flying across the middle of the map right now. There's something very satisfying about how the middle is such a battlefield here, and you can't fortify it. There's no positional advantage with hills or anything. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't like those aspects of other maps, but there is something extremely satisfying about watching some of this. Just from the minimap perspective, it's really cool. Great work from Viper here. Like, he knew pressure was going to come in, so he placed some palisade walls around. He immediately deals with that. And TaToH tries to raid again. Viper here with Trebs. TaToH has to defend this. TaToH still just very low on resources. Now, he's got the unit queue, but it's not near as crazy as Viper's. And Viper's banking up more resources. Okay, a couple of villagers go down for Viper. He drops down to 100 villagers, around the amount that TaToH has as well. Light Cav do take out that Treb, but there's 2 Trebs here. And so TaToH will lose another castle. Viper's just slowly grinding him down. And this is what we're waiting for, right? This left side so exposed. Viper will see it now. It's not that devastating of a raid, but the potential's there. And I think when you've got that food eco, if you're in Viper's position, you just continue to spam those Hussars and hope you land the Onager shot of the year. Chukunu have a habit of stacking, so there's always crazy potential for those Onagers to land. Both players have done an exceptional job, though, sniping the Onagers. I think it was a worthy investment for both players. But, you know, they just don't make many mistakes, so we don't get to see crazy highlights with Onagers that frequently. Stables on the right side for Viper. The stables and archery range is more towards the middle and the left. He still continues to just want to grind down TaToH on this side. Viper with 2k gold in the bank. He doesn't really need to spend gold. He's just... When he gets below 40 Arbalest, he'll queue up a few more. But... I don't know, man. It's been an interesting game. Like, I'm still trying to get a read on how Elite Chukunu have felt in this game. Honestly, I just think they've been really good. It's just the fact that you have to produce out of castles that's been the main weakness. It just takes so long to produce them. As Viper gets in there, he gets in real close. That trample damage is going to have an effect there. Yeah, this might be the final fight. Like, all the Chukunu are melting. The Onager's gone. And obviously, TaToH is probably known for some time that this is most likely over for him as well. He'll be down below 30 Chukunu. He's got one castle to produce them out of, and TaToH calls the GG. Viper created 383 Winged Hussars that game. TaToH 297 light cap. And it really was the Winged Hussar, I think, that made the difference. Lovely call from Viper to go Arbalest, though. Like, the Arbalest, when I saw Skirms, I was like, not so sure, because Chinese have pretty good stable units. You know, Chinese... Also, Polish skirmishers lack the final armor. You know, it just feels very weak, I guess, against some of the units TaToH was going to go for. But Viper actually, you know, he didn't go full Cavalier spam, despite the fact that the Cavalier were cheap. Instead, he shifted into the Hussars, which don't cost gold, and used any of his gold to make the Arbalest and the Onagers. And the important thing for me here was Viper seeing a castle, chipping away at it, taking it out, leaving. Viper seeing a castle, taking it out, leaving. He just did such a good job keeping his castles up, keeping his position, and forcing TaToH into a defensive mode as well, which you'd expect for that to happen initially. But the Chinese ultimately want to get like that ball rolling once they get Elite Chukunu and Halb and Hussar and everything combined. And TaToH just couldn't get to that position. Viper collected 2k more gold in that game, despite having one less relic. He collected about 10,000 more food. Only 7,000 more total resources, though. And it was a great back-and-forth post-imp battle. 616 kills, 534 deaths. And just felt like TaToH kind of just like capped out in terms of his potential there with his units. Someone said Chinese heavy Cav Archer is way better versus Winged Hussar than Chukunu. Chukunu total overkill damage. I mean, I need to see it to really believe you. I think that Chukunu was fine, but for TaToH, the main issue is he just was so, he didn't have the resources locked down, right? Like, he noticed the gold. Oh, crap, I have to deal with that. Then he notices this gold. Oh, crap, I have to deal with that. Viper was able to get that extra relic. Like, I think if the roles were reversed, right? Let's just say the roles were reversed. Obviously, we got more games coming up. I think Viper always gets this relic when he has scouts on the map. He never allows TaToH to get this gold. And is at least a little bit more competitive for this one. And then he gets that big snowball of Chukunu Halbs together faster to push this castle, right? Like, Viper should never have had this position as long as he did. Because remember, it was castle v castle over here for a while. So I don't think Chukunu were bad. I just think that TaToH had so many different little jobs to do, and Viper was able to keep asking questions of him on either side. And that's a big problem when you've got crazy trample damage Hussars. Polish Hussars, man. I know we talk about the other things, but Polish Hussars are the real deal. Okay. Best Hussars in the game, by far. And we move on here to game number 2. All right. So we were curious on what civilization TaToH would pick for his home map here, and that's not normal. Normally, you look at a map, and if they've selected it for their home map, you know exactly what civilization they're going to play. We have some nomad action here, guys. We've got an amazing little generation. We've got TaToH. And TaToH's in the red. Look at this TC. He's got stone and gold there. The goal for him playing as the Turks is to use the stone and the gold and drop a castle and make Janissary. So in terms of the TC starting position, absolutely a good TC spot for him. He is also docked in North, which we'll talk about. And then Viper, he's actually not too far away, and his TC is also looking pretty good. Right there on a stone and a wood line. The gold's not too far away if he scouts it. And then he has docked the right side. And the beauty of Malians is because all their wood buildings are so cheap, they can afford to go dock, house, TC, fishing ship at the start. No other civilization except Persians can compete in that regard. So Malians are more flexible, which allows for more fishing and more transitioning to land. Just they can do everything a little bit easier. And that's why Malians are seen as top 5 on Nomad. They're like clearly top 5, I think. I think there's no question. There are some exceptions possibly if you're someone who really likes to play into castle drops, right? Because Malians don't really do that. But like Malians, Persians are picked because of their economy and their options. Not because of their Gabetto. Sorry, Gabetto. Now, you know, the big talking point on this version, Nomad, is always the scouting. We have the little pond in the middle here that, for all you know, your opponent could have docked. So you have to scout those things. And so what you do is if you have sheep, you scout. And Viper, just grabbing another sheep there. I think he just wants to scout this area of his map. At the moment, he doesn't actually see any gold. Excuse me, sorry. So yeah, if Viper were to just use the sheep to go along to the north, he would find that TaToH is docked there. And they are both docked on the outer ring. And they're not too far away from each other. I think with where Viper is docked, he will most likely transition to another dock over here because he knows there's going to be a bit more water over there. And TaToH actually has the best docking position in the whole game because he's got so much fish. But Malians, again, are just able to contest it a whole lot easier, contest for the water than a lot of other civilizations. So I think it'll be more of a question of, does TaToH even compete on water? Or does TaToH just give up on water and go for the castle drop? And in my opinion, TaToH should absolutely compete on water because his unique unit costs food. Like, too many people with Spanish or Turks or... well, those are the best 2 examples. I'm trying to think of another unique unit that costs food and gold that's ranged. Can anyone think of one? Anyways, too many people with a food gold unique unit want to drop the castle, and they get all excited, and then they don't have food income. So they make it to Castle Age, and then they lose all their fish, and they have like 2 sheep. They can make like 2 conquistadors or 3 conquistadors, and then it's it. So I think you absolutely have to compete on water in the long term. So you might just be at a bit of a disadvantage there. Now, Arambai cost wood and gold. So I think Janissaries and Conquistadors are probably the best examples. No one's going castle drop into Axemen or Mamelukes, as fun as that might be. So again, we got to check this scouting, and this might actually make Viper... Oh, wait, no, never mind. He lost the sheep here. So there was some feedback from a couple individuals. I will not name names. A lot of people were like, we don't like this version of Nomad. It's too luck-based. Sometimes it's just GG because you can't find their dock. And I said it more professionally than I'm maybe going to say it now because I am an admin and admins must remain professional. But I was like, I professionally said, well, I feel like this version of Nomad adds a lot of variety. It takes you to the true spirit of Nomad, which is what we wanted. And then I basically said, and I believe there's been very clear examples of that from the best players so far. And like, look at what Viper saw 3 minutes ago. And then look at what he's at now. Maybe that was 5 minutes ago. He knows exactly where TaToH's docked because he lost the sheep on a shoreline. He's on the way to feudal age super fast, and he's docking right next to it. I did not say get good. But it's the true spirit of Nomad. Like, this is not an easy map to play, and you've got to figure things out. And that was the biggest talking point we had. So Viper just knew, after scouting this shoreline, after checking everything here, he just found it. And TaToH also, here's the other aspect of this. TaToH should know he's been found because he saw the sheep. So he's going to hear the little bloop bloop. And the sheep being found by him absolutely tells him that Viper knows he's there. And so I think TaToH has now shifted his strategy to let's just give up the water. All right, we're going to get as much food from that as possible Unfortunately for us, we're not going to be able to save our fish. And let's just go fast castle. And again, it's like the perfect TC for it. Because it's going to be very unlikely that Viper's going to... Well, it's going to be very difficult for Viper, let's just say, to deny the stone and the gold. He does see the villagers there, so he might imagine that the TC is there. And TaToH also dropping some outposts because his opponent's fast to feudal. Could always be some type of land pressure. I like the outposting from both. Now, again, I've casted every single game so far. And I will actually cast every single one of Platinum. I won't miss a single game. I might hate myself after it's over in mid-February, but it's worth it and we're going to do it. So I've seen it all. And you guys might not have been able to, okay? But if you were watching, there was a game for Viper where it was against Barrels, actually, where Barrels was clearly giving up water and Viper added 4 fire ships. Does anyone remember this? He went 2 dock, 4 fires. And then he went for the barracks and the range. And in that game, man, I wish I could like pull up an example of it right now to show you. Basically, Barrels was dropping the castle when Viper had 1 archer. So this is... I believe that Viper has kind of learned some lessons there. And he's trying to find a faster land pressure because he knows he's already going to be in a good spot on the water. So again, if you didn't watch that game, it was... Barrels had beaten Viper. Now, I also was critical of Viper, and I said, why on earth are you not banning Spanish? He ended up losing to Spanish, blah, blah, blah. But this is a similar situation, and so now he's, like, going to have enough archers to be able to hit TaToH before he actually has a castle, and he's killing TaToH's fish with just enough pressure. So I think Viper has played the near-perfect start so far for his civilization here on Nomad, honestly. And I think TaToH is going to be in a really rough position here. But he will likely drop his castle. It's just then a question of how good is it going to be. Now, next thing that comes to mind for me. Okay, so let's say you know TaToH is going to drop the castle. I had mentioned a stone wall. And Viper tried it, and Barrels also had an amazing play and petarded it. Again, I actually forgot how good that game was. I think I need to upload it to YouTube, like, late or something. I mean, it's on the extras channel, but I mean the main channel. Anyways, I'm wondering if Viper is going to be tempted to stonewall this. Just stonewall it off so TaToH can't get the castle down on you. Because when the castle drop happens, it's going to be... Well, I mean, the potential of it to do damage is so much greater because you guys are close together. Also, I'm not sure about taking the berries here. I mean, maybe over here would be a little safer just in case the pressure comes in. But Viper figures there's no way that his opponent can drop the castle forward now. It has to be a very defensive castle at his base because of this pressure. I mean, these are fletching archers. Great job from TaToH to wall here. Great job from TaToH to wall here. And wall here, so Viper can't really run back there. T90, the Turks logo is flipped at the top. Yeah, all the logos actually do that with Capture Age. But the Turks one isn't symmetrical, so it becomes very obvious. Whereas the Malians icon is symmetrical. I have no way of changing that. I could change their sides. Like, I could do this. And now it's perfect. But obviously that makes no sense because the players are flip-flopped. So I got to change it back. Sorry about that. Capture Age is literally broken. Unusable. Unplayable. But you see what TaToH wants to do here? Like, Viper has adapted so nicely. And he's now... kind of got this balance down to perfection, I think, compared to that game he lost against Barrels. It feels crazy. I mean, Viper's probably not going to say, oh, yeah, I remember that being a mistake against Barrels. Maybe he would. I don't know. But for me, it seems very clear. It's the same civilization for Viper, same situation where he's up against either Turks or Spanish. He knows it's going to be a castle drop, and he's done a better job. Now, we freaked out. We got excited. Can he stop it? Can he actually stop it? He is going to stonewall. And he is going to panic now. Okay? So he's done a better job up to this point. He died last time. Is it something that he can actually survive against this time? He said that on his stream. Okay, perfect. Well, there we go. So I'm not just some crazy guy, spouting out theories that isn't based on reality. Hey, T90, when you get the chance, can you explain what's different about this Nomad version? Yeah, basically, the water is not fully symmetrical around the outside. There's usually a landlock or potential for a landlock. There's also potential for little ponds. And what that does is, I mean, the other aspects of it are still balanced with golds and stones and berries, whatever else. But what that does is that encourages more scouting. It encourages more variety. If you were to play 1v1 Nomad on the ladder, the water's always in a evenly spaced, and so you can always play the same way because it's always going to be the same type of map gen. Obviously, there's still a lot of adapting needed. And I'm not even saying for the ladder version that they should not have those things, because I think, you know, Nomad is already adds too much variety for the average player. But for tournaments, I got really sick of everyone just going 2 to 3 docks on water into a faster castle age, into knights and monks. Now you've got like a lot more variety and sneakiness. Okay, so TaToH with the pressure. He actually opened with a ram, which surprised me. Normally you're going to see a mangonel. That way you can at least hit the TC. But look at TaToH's food count, guys. He can't afford many more of these, and Viper knows it. So Viper's going to bring the Knights in, and the Knights are going to get some hits, but the Archers are getting some hits before, and oh man, Viper just perfect. And now the Ram looks even more questionable. I guess the Mangonel would have as well. By the way, worth pointing out, I'm sure the experienced viewers picked up on this, but Viper also had added a few more fishing ships, so he had the food eco. He transitioned to safer gold over here if he needed it. He had more food income. He had berries. He had deer. And yeah, TaToH's just like dead. That was so good from Viper. Again, I wish I could pull up. Actually, hold on a second. One second, okay? This is really good content. I'm sure I have the rec. One moment. I'm going to show you the difference. Because this is just clear as day to me. The adaptations from Viper from one game to the next. All right, so this is the game. Now, I want you to watch this. We're going to speed through a lot of this. I'll go as fast as I can. Barrels is in blue. Barrels is over here. Barrels docks here. Okay. Viper docks here. Now, I forget if Viper had located Barrels' fish or not, but I believe he did. And I remember he docks to the right side. So I want you to watch this. Obviously, they were a bit further away, which is a factor. So look, scouting with the goats. Okay, scouting with the goats. Boom, finds the dock. So, important talking point. Spanish are going to want to go conks. So Viper goes even faster in that game. And I want you to watch how many fire galleys he makes. So he goes for the barracks, ready? But he goes second dock. And he queues up 3 fires. And I thought he went 4. Notice there's no archer range. So he's already on his way to kill fish with fires from both sides. That's already enough, but he continued to add more. There's no archers yet. Keep looking. And watch how this plays out, right? Remember, in the previous game we just watched, he killed TaToH's fish with 2 fires. Viper made 4 here. He made the outpost. Same deal as before. But look, he's waiting for the range, waiting for the range, waiting for the range. There's the range. And now watch the timing. Obviously, this isn't TaToH. Capture Age is confused now. So then, Barrels is able to secure the map with a castle that gives him access to a hill and gold, and Viper's Archer does nothing. And then the rest of the game is very, very awkward for the Viper. See what I mean? Like, that's a clear change. And obviously, Barrels had a sick play here where he added a Petard too. But that was a really sick change. And then, like, you fast forward in this game, and Viper's completely dead 5 to 7 minutes later. Because he didn't delay the castle being in a good position, and he didn't keep Barrels at home and keep him squished into the corner where he could get better stone walls and better coverage of the map. So, yeah. Anyways, maybe I'm just crazy, but I thought that was really cool to bring up. They probably have started the next game, so we got to hop into that now. So, it's looking pretty clear now that Viper's probably going to win Group D. We don't know 100%. And then here we are, and it's a lame festival here. And TaToH's come forward with the Mayans. TaToH wants a win. Guys, TaToH, he might have been second place in this group, coming in at 6-3 before this series. But if he gets 3-0'd, suddenly he's 6-6. And the final round, JBR or someone, can you please remind me who that would be up against? That final round becomes very, very important for him. Remember, TaToH was 9-6 in the first edition of Titans League. So TaToH wants to get every bit of an edge that he can. And so he came forward with that Eagle. The Eagle will always win a fight against the Scout in Dark Age, so you can't really engage against that of your Viper. And Viper's come forward, and he's just missing those sheep. So far, so good for TaToH, I guess. Viper's playing as the Portuguese. Portuguese do feel very strong right now on all maps. But Viper's not going for the early mill on the berries. It's interesting. Now, I want to see what his build order is here. The final series would be versus TaToH. Oh, man, that's crazy. Because TaToH and TaToH are both beasts. Remember, TaToH, I forget if he beat Viper 2-1 or if he just got a win off of Viper. I think he just got a win off of Viper. Yeah, he got a win off of Viper. That's what it was. But yeah, anyway, TaToH's looking incredible. And we'll see. I think TaToH will actually be casting later on today as well. I think TaToH Sebastian will be a series we cast later today. But yep, you get a little bit of wood income from taking your berries right now with the Portuguese. So it makes it more interesting of a Dark Age. It gives you a bit more potential. And then your gold units, and this is not new. Their gold units are discounted as well. So it feels like really possible to go Knight Crossbow and just combine gold types. And Viper has always played with the Portuguese. He did it for the memes back in the day. He also played very well with the Portuguese and got the bonuses, got value from their bonuses before the new bonus I just touched on. So no stranger to the Portuguese is the Viper. Map-wise, I guess I haven't really talked about that too much. Front of the base is obviously the most important area for Viper. TaToH's got this awkward hill here. The Viper doesn't actually have any real awkward hills to deal with. But I guess this hill becomes the most important in the game, right? Because Viper's got a gold beneath it, and then TaToH's got a gold beneath it as well. And TaToH's going to go for a drush. All right. TaToH still has to play Barles and Sebastian before playing TaToH, so he's in a pretty good spot. I think, yeah, TaToH's 3-3 right now, right? So he's a round behind. He'll play Sebastian today. And then I think he plays... I don't know, actually. Yeah, well, we would hope, obviously, that he plays Barles first. I think that would make the most sense. So it would depend on their scheduling, but... Yeah, TaToH desperate for a win. Like, TaToH gets one win here, he's feeling a little bit more secure. Probably no real relegation fears for TaToH as he, gets hit by the TC. But still want to get as many wins as possible. And here comes the Eagle and the Militia. Now, the downside of laming and then having to run home to find your resources, guys, is you don't exactly scout their resources. And Viper's on the way up. He doesn't see the Militia. Now he does. And the Militia are just going to kill his deer. Now, if Militia kills a deer, you can't eat it, guys. And Viper just quick walls it. Obviously, if a villager kills a deer, you can eat it. Just Age of Empires 2 things. Viper's super late with those palisade walls, stressing me out. But then again, it is Viper. Actually, that said, I was just going to say, TaToH, if he actually stayed there, Viper wouldn't have been able to drop off resources with that one Vill. God, does he wait for the last second just to tease people? I think he does. I can't do that. I'm like, oh God, I got to do it right away. Look, you could have preemptively done it, Mr. Snake. Well, what? I don't truly understand besides the fact that I think he's okay. All right, fine. All right, message received. Message received. Gets the walls down now. However, TaToH, it's not the end of the world. The Militia could still obviously get some value. And he's going to go up to Feudal Age behind this, and sometimes you'll even see a third and a fourth Militia made to turn this into Man-at-Arms play. Viper, I think he's going to go Archers here. Would be the obvious play now. And we've got the range. And now the Feudal Age Scout can be very helpful. And Viper's just going to try to get value here. TaToH won't hate this, by the way. Viper having a weak Scout means that he could wall up like a madman if he wants to. Viper also has shown TaToH that he's going for a range, which Mayans are pretty good at doing as well. And this is definitely going to be... Not that other games aren't, but this is going to be heavy execution based right now. And Viper's now walling his villagers in, but he can't drop off the gold yet. He's going to delete these and place the mining camp like a nerd. Yep, there you go. But yeah, I mean, not the end of the world here for TaToH. Again, as I stated, his builds looked pretty clean, and he's now sending villagers forward. Whoa, bro. Wait a second. And he's adding another militia. And he's going to have 4 total militia. Did Viper see those villagers, or was he just passing? I think Viper was just passing. Huh. I'm not sure I'm a fan of adding the extra militia unless you tower. It's an underrated play. No one seems to want to do it. Like, go middle range and then just tower Viper's gold instantly. And the reason I say that is because the archers have to hit and run, hit and run, hit and run. But, so you can't really stop the tower if there's militia running towards you, because you have to run away. So they would be in that area to support that position. Viper, I don't think, saw any of that. So that's a scouting error from him. And now he sees the man-at-arms, and he does lose half an archer. And now this is that timing. I think Viper could consider rushing it because all the man-at-arms aren't together. But he's got to look at this. And now there's the tower. And now suddenly TaToH's got a nice little position on Viper's gold. And Viper is going to try and rush this. And he's going to rush down his own tower, in fact. And drop some quick walls. Man, that's really creative. And then also using the scout here to whittle down the skirm. Oh, this is so well played from Viper. Oh my goodness, man. And TaToH's got to be careful. Viper is in shape today, man. Oh my goodness. Have you ever seen defense executed so perfectly? Viper, don't lose the archer. You're ruining it. Okay. Well, he lost his archer, so I complimented him, and now it's awful. But he's got TaToH trapped in here. And let's see how this goes. These villagers are just going to run away. Viper's had a lot of idle time, we should say. Like, yeah, he had to pull villagers off of resources, etc., etc. Now he's going to go for a gate. Quick wall. Villagers should escape. Interesting little game. Dang, okay. Yeah, Viper's really scared today. I mean, he's got a lot of rest, right? I know, I think he made a joke. He was playing Age of Empires for like 10 hours yesterday, and he was like, I'm too old for this. I watched him play. There's like a little best of 5 series yesterday after he was there for 7 hours. The amount of eco upgrades he missed, the amount of times he got housed, the amount of times that he was just so obviously exhausted. I was giggling, you know? And I giggle because it's great to know the guy's human, you know? Great to have an example of that every now and then. But, man, that was really sharp defense. Like, I really feel like if that tower happens to me, I'd lose a villager or two or have a lot more idle time. Yeah, Spearman Edition's an interesting one. I'm not sure exactly. Like, Viper might want a bit of a meat shield. He probably realizes TaToH's going to be working off the barracks and the range, whereas he's only set up to really work off of just the archer range. Now he's going to add the stable. So he's going to try and mix in some scouts here. But TaToH's just continued to push forward here. And we have to say, TaToH's economy behind this is very nice. This is some great pressure. And TaToH is just desperate to get a victory here. As again, I've stated before, and we all know how important it is, especially if his last round is against TaToH. Viper with some beautiful little house walls there, but he is going to lose access to this wood line. TaToH will be very happy with how this game is flowing right now, because he hasn't lost a villager, and he's got beautiful control. Now, this is where you freak out. Okay, TaToH's now in a position where if he goes this way, he hits a tower, and if he goes this way, he hits houses. He has to find a way to do damage to Viper, or Viper is going to feel comfortable enough to go counterattack. Let's see what TaToH senses here. This is where you're like, I'm not seeing his army. I'm not seeing his army. Where's his archers? Where's his archers? Perfect moment for Viper to counter as well. So TaToH, with the middle range, is going to find it really awkward to defend that. But he is going to drop a tower here. So this is the downside of counterattacking if you're Viper. Obviously, there could be some crazy upside, and there he goes. But something's awfully fishy over here if you're TaToH, right? Look at Viper, by the way. He's just waiting for any units to pass there. And then he can kill it. And now TaToH sees it. And now TaToH still doesn't see the archers. I think that might be the first time he's seen scouts, too. So this is coming as a surprise to him. And now TaToH wants to do more damage, but if he runs through, he hits the TC. And here are those archers now. And TaToH might even need a defensive tower, and this could get messy. Viper's just giving up some map control where it need be. Now he's going for the counter, and TaToH at least knew it was coming, or at least realizes it now. If he had 4 villagers on stone, he could probably tower. But now he's going to just give up on that stone. He does actually have this stone, though. This is actually really interesting. And Viper's massing a lot of army to defend from this. Great damage control from both players this game. Damage control central, man. TaToH doesn't have easy access to gold, but he could get this, maybe. And the stone income's going to be there, though this is just asking for trouble later on. I think he might want to tower there, but then again, there might also be a need for him to tower at home. Yeah, TaToH is rooting for Viper here, for sure. And Viper now drops a gate! And the Eagles were trying to escape, and TaToH, I don't know how you say yippee in French, but he's probably saying it right now after that play that was sick. And Viper's just been in tip-top shape here with his traps here today. Still got an awesome army here. TaToH needs to get ranged units home, and here he comes. TaToH still could be okay there. And honestly, he's still got some pretty good value from the Eagles as well, and a lot of this army hasn't been able to do other things. But TaToH being able to move back home with these skirmishers gives him a real opportunity here, guys. Because now he can just pick off the archers on the other side of the wall. The scouts can't really engage against him, and the scouts would normally be able to engage against you if you're in open fields. But this is where these villagers are exposed, and Viper doesn't know they're mining the stone, but he has to have an idea that they're over there still. And he needs to get back on gold himself. He does actually have stone income and gold income here, so he's okay. TaToH's tower. Oh, this could lead to all villagers going down. Well, you want to hit 2 different villas at the same time if you can. Oh, they're all weak from before, and oh, pain. TaToH, first time he loses villagers, he loses all 4. Viper on the way to Castle Age. Viper also using the corners. You can do this. If you're going to wall in a tower, you actually need to wall the corners too. And TaToH now follows on the way to Castle Age, but I still don't really know what TaToH's army composition is going to be. Skirmishers, maybe. Might not have many left, actually. Look at Viper here, using the scouts against the skirms, taking out the spearmen. Oh, man, TaToH's going to lose all these ranged units. Viper has looked great today. I just don't know what your opening is if you're TaToH. I guess he is back on gold now, so he's going to aim to go Eagles here. And for the Viper, you still have the scouts to be able to look around. And I think he would know his opponent's not going to go skirms from here. He sees this, and he'll absolutely know that his opponent will go Eagles. He's just waiting for armor now. He's going to have armor, plus the hill bonus involved. Just hoping to get some kills. Viper also has a lot on stone. So he's still making archers. He's adding another range and another stable. That is the beauty of Portuguese, though. It's cheaper for them to make their gold units. So you can go double gold comp, like I'd said in Dark Age. What's the prize? Well, it's $40 per win. And then you get placement prizes past the group stage as well. So that very much depends on the player's results and what we see after the group stage. And it feels like TaToH and Viper are obviously both going to move past into the playoff stage. Like, you would think that based on their names, but if this game goes the direction we think it's going to go and Viper wins this 3-0, TaToH has 6 wins after 4 sets. And TaToH calls the GG. So TaToH gets 3-0'd. His final series is against TaToH, who, even though he's a promoted player from the first season, is performing way better than all the other promoted players and is looking like one of the greatest players in Titans League right now. And so TaToH, I mean, come the final week, and I'm going to pull up the standings here just to verify this, he's going to be really needing some results. Viper played really good Age of Empires 2 today. Like, there are days where Viper, he plays great, but it's not like, wow, great. Not like perfectly clean. It's just another day in the office. Okay, little sloppy here or there, gets the job done. Viper looked elite today. Most exciting game for me was actually the shortest game for me. That was actually the second game. I'm just too big of a strategy nerd not to appreciate the adaptation that Viper had used from his loss against Barles to then his win against TaToH in game 2. But still, the whole series was well played from him. I thought TaToH had a great series, obviously, as well, but couldn't get it done. Just so many tiny little moments where Viper just looked like he was never troubled, where a lot of times players are going to look troubled. And TaToH would have found a lot more success against other names here, I think. Resources collected is very similar, though. Viper, he would have, from this position, cleared up all the Eagles, and TaToH knew it. Like, crossbow plus knights, and TaToH barely could afford to produce. And TaToH, I think he could have continued to play here. You know, maybe as a viewer, you would have liked to see that. But ultimately, I think he would have been completely off of gold here over the next couple minutes. All right. So let's look at the results real quick. Keep in mind that I'm showing results of only things that I have covered, because that's basically how the coverage of Season 2 has worked. There are instances where we cast recorded games, but the results aren't public until I actually cast them, and I obviously don't know as well until I cast them. So what does that mean for Group D? Okay, so here we are, Group D. I also, just before I forget, I'm going to remove that image there. Okay, cool. So TaToH's now played 4 out of 5 rounds. He has 6 wins. Yo, this is pretty crazy. Okay, so, man, I mean, there's a chance TaToH, statistically speaking, there's a slight chance that TaToH gets relegated, like a super, super, super tiny chance. I don't think that's the conversation, though. But there is a chance that TaToH doesn't go to the playoffs. There's a chance he could be 4th in this group. So TaToH, obviously, like, he's got to get some rounds in here. Velez has got 2 more rounds left. TaToH's got 3. TaToH's got to play Sebastian, who will cast later. That will cast that series later. TaToH then plays Barles, and then TaToH plays TaToH. So, yeah, there's a very good chance that Veleza and TaToH could surpass TaToH and send TaToH sliding into the 4th position. And, in fact, odds are that he might actually be headed towards that 4th position, which would mean a big name like TaToH would move on past out of the group stage. But, you know, like, if Barles wins 6-0, like, out of his final 6 games, which I suppose possible. Obviously, he'd have to 3-0 TaToH. He'd then have to 3-0 Sebastian. He would be tied with TaToH, and then it'd go to tiebreak, and I think TaToH would still beat him on tiebreak. Sebastian, though, he's got 3 more rounds. If Sebastian gets above 6, then wouldn't TaToH... Dude! TaToH could be relegated if Sebastian goes on a run here, man. That's pretty wild. Now, I mean, Sebastian has not won a game yet, but he's only played TaToH and Viper. So he's playing the quote-unquote worst players left in the group. Obviously, it's going to be really tough for a player like Sebastian to ever do something like that, but certainly fun to think about. Okay.